So hello and welcome back and good morning to the GorillaBiker as I make my way to work. And today all I really want to talk about is actually, you know, a lot of these motorcycle businesses that are struggling. And oddly enough, I want to speak about, you know, the motorcycle business in the UK, because I think it's pretty important to the overall motorcycling ecosystem. I think it's more important than a lot of people even realize. It's pretty chilly. I do have this new Suzuki Adventura jacket because I didn't have any cold weather riding gear over here, so I got this one because it was on sale and it's a little bit cheaper, a little bit more affordable. You know, has a back protector in there, has shoulder protection, elbow protection. So far it has definitely helped keep me slightly warmer. I do think I'm going to have to stop and put on my neckerchief at some point though, because I forgot to put it on and my neck is freezing. But yeah, so I mean, obviously anyone who's been paying attention has probably seen that KTM have gone into like self-administration, which basically means they're broke or nearly broke and need to restructure, lay people off, and that's really sad. And my heart goes out to anyone who works for KTM, because honestly that's the thing that I think oftentimes we lose sight of when we're talking about these things. You know, I saw some people celebrating the fact that Energica are also, you know, going out of business or whatever else, but you have to remember people work there, you know what I mean? So that sucks, right? Would I have ever bought an Energica? Probably not, but you know, I've often said it, I think more competition is better for every motorcyclist overall, and Energica were certainly a little bit of competition for everyone. So it is sad to see it go out, especially for, you know, a thing that is as niche and probably getting even more niche as motorcycles, because yeah, we need as much manufacturers as possible to create competition. And I think the more diverse those manufacturers are in, you know, engine type and just pretty much everything, I think the better, because you know, and this is something I've spoken to other people about previously, is with the you know, the advent of EU emission laws, and you know, I have a lot of opinions on those I've spoken about in the past, and the new EU Cat 5 Plus I have even more opinions on. I think and I'll, you know, to be blunt, I think they're all stupid. I really do. I like, they just don't make sense for motorcycles at all. You know, I think if you told motorcycle companies they have to strive to make, you know, what they make, what is this person doing, as efficient as possible, without structuring how they do it, I think you'd see more innovation like that. I don't think, you know, telling them they have to have this many exhaust pipe emissions and whatever else. That car is making me nervous getting too close to me. We'll lose them up here. You know, I don't think that's the way to encourage innovation, is to force it, if that makes sense. And you know, the EU cat laws have always been an exercise in enforcing it. Now they won't keep opening me through here. There you go, didn't think so. Gotta be careful because my tires are probably slightly cold this morning. I won't go too crazy. The lovely V-Strom. Yeah, that's what I thought. Whenever I have people up my bum, oh, RIP, whatever you were. Whenever people up my bum, that's always a good place to lose them. He's right there. So, but yeah, the reason I bring the UK into it is, you know, you've probably seen there's several YouTubers out there who talked about it. Friends of mine like Hippo Drones, Banditman UK, the Tom STT. Sorry, Tom, I always forget your channel name. But you know, several of the guys who I know and love in the UK have spoken about this. And you know, what I would hate to see is, you know, Ireland doesn't have that many dealers, and that's certainly not a good thing. You know, because what you really want is, you know, you want lots of dealer competition as well. But anyway, back to the UK. you know, you see X amount of dealerships, you know, struggling and closing, or for instance, Hippodromes. I've actually been to the dealership it's been sold, I think, to Superbikes Unlimited or whatever. It's a used bike dealership, and I think that one is particularly sad because that was a really beautiful showroom. I bought parts for the Aprilia there when I was riding back from Germany, stopped off and met up with Hippodromes and Pezza, and you know, that's I just think that's sad because the UK, for, you know, and as an Irishman I can't compliment them too much. I lose my passport if I do that. However, what I will compliment them on is, you know, their motorcycle culture over there. They have a lot of tracks. Obviously, you know, they have a really healthy national racing series, BSB, which is also excellent to watch. You know, they still feed a lot of very talented racers into BSB, WSBK, etc., right? And all of that is so important because, you know, it's the health of the entire industry, right? If you have good healthy racing and you have good healthy dealerships, that does encourage people to buy bikes, right? Whatever way you cut it, that is part of the allure of bikes, is going out and seeing a Gixxer 1000 or, you know, an S1000 RR on the track, and then you're like, oh, I can pretty much buy one of those, and then you go buy one, and that is, oh, this is a big old bump. The V-Strom soaks it up. But yeah, I mean, that is definitely part of the allure. It's part of the sales tactics, and you know, those bikes are exciting. I don't know, have you ever been to you know, a racetrack with professional athletes riding, you know, 1000cc motorcycles, but it is badass, you know. I was actually in Silverstone the year that Silverstone, of course, was the main race was cancelled for rain, but even seeing the bikes, you know, in free practice and whatever else, was unbelievable. That you felt those bikes in your chest, you felt them in your bones as they came past. And you know, while I don't think we're going to lose, oh yeah, I don't want to be on that lane because it gets all rough and my tires don't like it. You know, that's something that I think definitely helps people, you know, certain people get involved in sports bikes and in racing. I have not personally been influenced by it, because I have always liked racing. I think one of my earliest memories is watching F1 on TV at home when when it was still free to air, and so I've been watching F1 since I was literally a child, like a baby, and I have loved F1 since. As soon as I could watch MotoGP, I started watching MotoGP. Same with WSBK. BSB I've always watched when I can. It's just to get the streams and get times lined up. I generally watch things on replay, or I watch extended highlights. That's generally how I do business. But I digress. Basically, the reason I'm saying the UK is important, and why I see the UK is kind of like a health barometer, a health thermometer for the whole kind of Western world industry. Is if you look at, you know, motorcycles, they kind of sell a lot of motorcycles, right? But they're really small ones. Like if you look at the bulk of what they sell, it's like 125 cc's, you know, 250 cc's, and it's not in the Western world. You know what I mean? Even in the Western world, they probably do sell more of the smaller engine stuff. But for the bigger bikes, for the exciting bikes, for the bikes that we all aspire to own, the UK is one of the places where a lot of people actually own those, you know, because that's just how healthy the motorcycle culture is there. You know, motorcycles are not vilified in the UK to the same degree as they are in Ireland. So yeah, that's why I see, you know, there as you know, like a health check on the industry at all. Because over here, obviously there are, you know, quite a lot of bikes too, but by and large it is cruisers. Harley is very popular over here. Don't you do it, don't you do it. I'm telling you, this road, every morning there are morons, people on phones, Yeah. But yeah, over here definitely cruisers are a much bigger thing. And you know, even when you look at, for instance, North Carolina, where I live, is 1.88 times bigger volumetric landmass wise, volume wise I should say, area wise, what the hell, people, than Ireland. So literally 1.88 times the size of Ireland area wise, landmass wise. Well, no, not landmass, land area wise. And why that's always interested me is, you know, you have X amount of dealers in Ireland, for instance. You actually don't have that many dealers in North Carolina. You don't have that many, you know, used motorcycle shops in North Carolina, even though it is the end of November and I can still ride to work comfortably, and it's a blue sky. Yes, it's cold right now. It's like maybe 4 degrees, but maybe 4 or 5 degrees, whichever. I can ride to work comfortably with just, you know, a jacket on, and obviously pants. I'm not naked from the waist down. But you know, that's the whole kind of thing that gets me, is over here you would think you'd have so many more dealerships, dealers, but they just don't exist. Whereas, like, you know, the beauty of the UK is whenever I've been there, you really, you know, you can't swing a cat in the more populated areas without, you know, being able to land that cat on the roof gently. Of course, I would never swing a cat to hurt it. I like cats, I like animals. Without landing the cat on the roof of a motorcycle dealership. And that is critically important, because I think that if the UK industry collapses, I think that will be a pretty large signifier, like a health check on cool bikes, you know, bigger bikes and how long they're going to last for. You know, I think we'll always have smaller displacement, but the marquee bikes, you know, the flagship bikes, I think that is a good health checkup for the industry. Obviously, you know, Germany, Italy, Spain, they all sell those big bikes as well in X amount of numbers. Australia, USA, I'm not trying to ignore them or anything like that, but I'm just saying in general, I feel like it's a good litmus test for the industry at large, in my opinion, from what I've observed throughout my life. And you might have gathered by now, if you've been watching the channel, I'm just a tad obsessed with motorcycles. So, you know, that is, it's observation, but it is somewhat educated observation, we'll put it that way. So yeah, I really hope we don't see a continued decline of dealership support and whatnot in the UK. And obviously I've not always been, or not really a proponent for dealerships, because, you know, there's problems there, but at the end of the day they are a critical part of, you know, having bikes, because you can't go look at them, you can't go sit on them, unless, you know, you end up having to go to a bike show once a year, and that's where you pick your bikes. You know, I like to just walk around dealerships. I like to look at bikes. Even if I'm not going to buy them, that's where I just look at them and enjoy their visage. So yeah, that's kind of my concern. I hope it doesn't come to pass. I hope, you know, this is a little dip on the grand scheme of things, but I do think we need to do more to get younger people onto bikes. Because, you know, what I see now, let's just do a quick check. Okay, not on the phone, plus 10 points. I'll be really surprised if we don't see someone on the phone soon. Not on the phone 2 in a row, that is rare. But yeah, what I'm saying is, you don't see many people on bikes, right? Because over in America, it's kind of dumb, you know. In a lot of Europe, I know the UK has free parking, like most places, for motorcycles. Ireland, I don't think it's really kind of officialized, but you can pretty much park wherever you want, provided you're not obstructing, you know, pedestrians and people in wheelchairs, and, you know, mothers and fathers pushing their children in buggies and prams. And obviously that is very important. You know, if you're going to park on a footpath, don't be an asshole. Just make sure there is space for people to go about their business. It is a footpath after all. But, you know, that's something that is allowed at home. Whereas over here, you know, you're expected to park in a normal car parking spot, which then means that you're, you know, subject to Terry coming home from work after 14 hours, and Terry just wants to watch Netflix on his phone while he backs into a space without really looking, and then he runs over your bike, your pride and joy. And a bike is in general different to a car. People take a lot more pride in their bikes. Most people don't take that much pride in their car. So over here, yeah, I kind of get why more young people you know, haven't been attracted to it as a form of transportation. Not only that, a lot of the whole culture around bikes here is really unhealthy, you know. Unhealthy in the way that it's like, it's not conducive to a long motorcycling life. Like, actually on this road going the opposite direction, not even that long ago, maybe a month and a half ago, there was a young man who unfortunately passed away, and you know, I saw the bike on the way home. I didn't come upon the actual accident itself, I was just stuck in the traffic caused by it. And passing by the bike, I did notice there was temporary tags on it, and then later it did turn out that guy was a very new rider. And I'm not saying this is, it's absolutely not anyone's fault, but the culture over here that I have seen, you know, a lot of people get onto these highways and they just think, oh, I can just open it up. Where that poor young fella crashed, there's a pretty aggressive dip in the road. So if you hit that going quite fast, I could very easily see someone inexperienced get a little bit of head shake going over it, and not, you know, obviously not knowing how to recover from that. And you know, that's the thing is, I feel like over here people don't give themselves the chance to learn so that they can enjoy bikes for a long time going forward. And that's a pity too, because then you obviously get all the negativity surrounding it, that it's like, oh well, I know XYZ and they passed away on bikes, so bikes are bad, full stop. I'm like, I get it, I get where you're coming from, but you know, they're really not, and they could be an excellent mode of transportation for people if we would only give them the chance. You know, legalize filtering over here. I'm not saying lane splitting, I'm saying filtering. So slow speed, traffic stopped or almost stopped, legalize that. Figure out, you know, legalize where we can park. Once it's not obstructing traffic or people, I really don't think it should be a big deal. You keep traffic down, you keep congestion down, you free up parking spaces for cars. It is really a win-win for everyone if people could just look past, you know, their frustration that they feel like they're missing out, they feel like they're being skipped in a queue, etc. It's such a dumb thing, you know, that some people feel that way. But you know, I don't think I'm going to change the world anytime soon. So yeah, that's pretty much my whole chat. Is I am concerned. I think it's never good seeing, you know, businesses go under. I'll be honest, I'm not overly surprised about Energica. I do a lot of, you know, figuring on bikes, you know, what I can afford, what I can't afford, what makes sense, you know, what's going to save me money commuting, what's going to make sense for me to enjoy, etc. And I could never rationalize any electric bike that's currently on the market, because for anything that, you know, can do the commute that I wanted to do, it's just too expensive, pure and simple. It's just too expensive. When you have a, you know, the bike's nearly costing as much as a Tesla, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It just doesn't. And this is another thing about over here in the morning. So that box truck is going faster than me, right? And I am already doing the kind of normal amount plus or minus of the speed limit, we'll say. And then you have box trucks just breeze past you, and people on phones breeze past you. Clearly the speed limits in NC are wrong, because no one does them. So I wish they'd also fix that. That'd make a lot of sense. But yeah, let me know. You know, I really hope KTM survive. I don't think Energica are going to. I think KTM can. It's just how they're going to look afterwards will be interesting. Hopefully they survive relatively unscathed, and hopefully we don't see more manufacturers follow suit. And you know, I think a part of this whole thing, and I might talk about, you know, engines and engine technology in another video, if you want me to talk about, you know, what I think of the changing of the guard from inline 4s to inline 2s, let me know. Inline twins. I would happily talk about that And yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Let me know your thoughts on KTM, Energica, the motorcycling industry at large for bigger bikes, the ones that, you know, we in the Western world like to ride. And yeah, that's it. If you watch, thank you very much for watching. As always, very special thank you to all of my patrons. It's still not heating up, it's still cold, but this Suzuki jacket's actually great. It's keeping me perfectly comfortable. Yeah, that's all I have. I think I said special thank you to all my patrons, but in case I didn't, special thank you to all my patrons. You're all awesome. And yeah, until next time, thanks again for watching. Please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts as I commute to work. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again. Adios. Outro crew. What do you think of my new jacket? What do you think of my new jacket? I'm terrible because I really want to get like climbs. You know, like I wanted to get the climb summer jacket. I might do next year. And I really wanted to get the nice climb winter jacket, but they're just so expensive. Whereas I mean, this Suzuki one was on sale. I think I paid $200 for it, maybe $189 for it on sale. It was a good deal either way. It was a good deal. Very happy with it. And yeah, it's doing exactly what I wanted to do. I think this would be fine all the way down to 0. And I tend to try not ride when it's below freezing because, you know, ice on the road and whatnot. So this is, it's not as cold as I'll go, but it's close to it because I don't have properly insulated, what are you doing? Back off. I don't have properly insulated pants either. So yeah, let me know. I can't remember what the question was, outro crew. So I'm going to ask a second one, outro crew. Would you currently buy a KTM knowing that they're gone into administration? I personally would not, especially with all of the issues they've had recently. Let me know what you think. And I do hope that this self-administration, by the way, is not a play by KTM to avoid responsibility for fixing all the issues that have popped up on their bikes. I really hope that's not what, you know, part of this whole thing is. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if I ask multiple questions. Let me know what you think, outro crew. Bye, outro crew.